Alrighty guys, today I am with Andres. He is shaman and helper to the Taita at our ceremonies down here. He is one of the main guys and I really wanted to talk to him today, sit down and talk to him because I think he has a really fascinating story that has brought him to the medicine, and he's been with the medicine for many years and he's seen a lot of different things, a lot of people going through their own processes, and so I thought it would be a really fascinating discussion to introduce him and show him so you guys can get to know him and see what it is that we're all about down here. So Andres, thank you for sitting down with me today.
You're welcome, man.
Appreciate it very much. Just getting into it, can you tell us a little bit about your background before you even found the medicine or anything?
My name's Andres Enrique Montoya. I was born out in Bogota, out here in Colombia. Both of my parents are right here from the coffee region. They moved out there for work and whatnot, and then they took the decision to look for a better life out in the United States. When I was 3, they took me out to Los Angeles County, San Fernando Valley. I pretty much grew up out there, always coming back to Colombia for the festivities, Christmas, New Year's, up until I started running into problems with drug addiction, street life, gangs, going to prison back and forth. And that was basically like at 14, I stopped coming out here. Was on parole, not at that time parole, but probation. They wouldn't let me leave. I had a lot of problems in school. I got diagnosed with the ADHD. I was a total problem child. And yeah, basically I came to the medicine as a patient. As a patient, I came to heal myself, looking for healing. In 2015, I basically just was like, I'm done with this. I was seeing all my friends die or go to prison, in and out of prison. Some went to prison for life, others overdosed, and I was just thought, this isn't for me. I come from a good family, from a good home, and it's not something I want them to get the call, hey, he died because of an overdose. I was addicted to heroin since 14. I started around 12 with Vicodin.
Wow.
I used to ride dirt bikes. I was a crazy kid, had accidents. And yeah, I started taking painkillers prescribed by the doctor, always going back to the doctor, getting more. If not, looking for them on the streets. Till one time I was going out with a stripper. And I ran out of pills and she was like, hey, smoke some opium, it'll make you feel better. Turns out it wasn't opium, it was heroin. And basically it went on for a long time. Always controlled, always never had to do any crime. I did sell drugs. I never had to go out and rob or steal or do anything like that to support my drug addiction. And I was just basically tired of the same lifestyle. I'd get out of prison, healthy, cool. I'd be clean once I stayed clean for like a year. But then it was always that spot that I needed to heal, that I needed to fill with love instead of fill with drugs. And I remember I actually smoked DMT for the first time out there in California, and they showed me I was by myself out there. And I had so much to come out here and live and get to know different things. And I was just like, hey, I'm going back. Basically sold everything. Got on a plane and came out here. When I was out here, I was looking for ayahuasca ceremonies. I always talked to the organizers, and I was on methadone and Xanax. They were like, no, we can't take you in. You got to get clean off that stuff, and then once you're clean, we could help you out. Turns out, funny story, a cat from New York moved up the way, and he was like, hey, we're doing an ayahuasca ceremony. I was like, whoa. Came straight to the condo where my mom lives. So I said, well, I'm not gonna say nothing, I'm just gonna do it because I'm tired. Like, I was tapering down off the methadone and Xanax, but it was hell. I needed like something to help me with that willpower. And I drank medicine for the first time and it was amazing. I purged a whole lot, cried a whole lot, and got in touch with myself. A lot of people think sometimes they want to come see colors. They're not into the healing part, but I was totally in. So that was my intention. I gotta heal some stuff. I gotta go deep down inside and see why I always turn to drugs. And it showed me a I won't get too in depth, but just certain traumas I had that it started helping me let go and just not badger myself with it. Like, okay, you did something wrong, you paid your time, now it's time to live. It's not a life sentence. You don't always have to live with that. You got to forgive yourself, you got to forgive others, and you got to forgive yourself. So with the first shaman I drank with, he was an indigenous. I started every month. He gave me the invitation to go out to El Putumayo. I didn't quite take it because it was basically like something for him to make money off of, and it was cool, but I didn't have no money, so I was just like, hey, I'll wait it out, see what comes. And a couple months later, I was looking on the internet, and I found this publication, and I was just like, hey, I called, I talked to them, I told them my testimony of where I was at the moment, and they said, come on down. I went down to Buena Vista to the Siona tribe, welcomed by the Pipaje family. If you guys come down there, you'll meet his brother, Abuelo Pacheco, but I started walking with Abuelo Felinto, rest in peace. Throughout that time, I always thought I would be judged by going out there. I have a few tattoos and I might look like, hey, what's this guy doing out here? But it was incredible. I never got that. I got such a warm welcoming. It was a beautiful place. Got in touch with nature, got in touch with myself. And from there on, I told them, like, hey, I want to learn. I want to go more in depth. I want to start helping. And that's basically what happened. They're, all right, we go down to the city, you help us out, find people for us, find a place where we could do it. And we started doing that 2018. They'd come down every month. With them, I would go tour around Cali, Armenia, Manizales, and did that until quarantine hit. I remember the Taita was here. We couldn't go outside of the city to drink, and I was like, hey, we need this, especially at this moment. And I said, hey, we're gonna drink it was actually my friend's tattoo shop in a barrio, and we started right there. And with that, I started working with Andres Cordova with Ayahuasca en el Barrio, and we sponsored drug addicted kids to come take the medicine. Some of them don't have money to pay for it. It's fine. We did like social work, and it was cool. It was cool to see the change. Sometimes it's hard because these kids live in the barrio where they sell the drugs, so it's hard. It's a hard process, but hey, we did leave a print in a lot of the people's lives. I still see some of the kids now. They're better than they were before, but they still need a little help. And we started drinking with the Taita, with Andres in that house, until we were able to go outside of the city and start drinking again. That's when I was just like, all right, I'm gonna take this and run with it. And a lot of people from California that met me, that had known me before, were like, wow, that's incredible change to where you were at to where you're at now. Like, you're a whole new different person. So then I started bringing people down here. I had a calling to just have people come down here, because a lot of ayahuasca, you could find it out in the States, but it comes with more out here. I feel like it's more healing, especially if you go out to the jungle. So we started bringing people down here, quarantine, all that. Started going out a little bit. Then I took the initiative to just go back out to California. I was scared. I was really scared. I think my mom was, all my friends that took me in were scared, because they would always see me do good and then relapse. And from there, I went to Mexico with Diego Mora to help him with the ceremonies out in Mexico. Opened a lot of doors in Baja California, Ensenada, Tijuana, and started going out there a lot. I started do the practice of, I also practiced Bufo Alvarius and Campbell. Shared with the Seri tribe, with the Concac in Sonora, Punta Chueca. Was out there, was able to assist them in ceremonies, assist them with foreigners that would come down from Yuma, Tucson, Phoenix. They have a group that goes down every month for the full moon, and it's incredible group. Met them, and I'm due to go back 28th of this month. And yeah, then after quarantine, I reached out to Abuelo Pacheco. Sometimes the abuelos don't like to go out of the jungle. They gotta watch what they eat. They're more pure. They come out to the city, and with the food, with the energies out here, they could get sick. And I always was very afraid of that, and I didn't want to take that responsibility, but I felt like I had to. It was a must. And it comes with the knowledge they've had for their whole life. They come from grandfathers, taita, and it went good. It went great. And ever since last year, I've been bringing him down sometimes I bring down his nephew, sometimes I bring him down. But this year, I set dates for the whole year. Every month, he comes down here, he gives us medicine. He usually comes for 2 days, 2 ceremonies, Fridays and Saturdays. Have a few people we've helped from drug addiction, sometimes black magic, stuff like that out here, a lot of envy, a lot of stuff like that. And that's sometimes how people choose to play, and it's a hard process sometimes, but it's real feeling once you see the person after and they tell you, and you see it in their face. You see it in their face, whether it was drugs or whether it was just they were blocked. They were just stuck in a mindset that didn't work for them, always worried, always wanting it to be their way. And sometimes we just need to let go, open up our hearts, and just let things flow. I say, like, I'm never regretful for anything I've done, because if I hadn't done that before, maybe I'd be working a 9-to-5 job and working for somebody else. And now I could say I work for the spirits and the mayores, the abuelos, which is very filling. You work with a community, you go, you see the projects they're doing. Abuelo's building a house, and last time I went, he was like, yeah, it's coming along, but the money sometimes, the money part, I told him, don't worry, we're setting something up. We're gonna bring a whole lot more people to get healing, come back, go back to where they came from, and go give a testimonial to doing the things on the internet. A lot of people sometimes do it, and they do it for themselves and the money. And my project is to do it for them, so he could have a cool house to where if we want to go to El Putumayo, he could take us all in, and we could go to his house, and it's just something. It's like a vision, which I feel it's gonna come true. It's gonna come true.
That's beautiful. You answered just about every day in one of my questions. Going from that process of having that rough background and then finding your way here, you're not just. I'm sure there's a lot of things that, being from California, there's a lot of things that you could be doing in California, but you're down here, you're working with the medicine, you're working with these people, and you touched on it. But what is the intention for you? You said it's not about the money, but what is the intention for you to be in this line of work?
My intention is for people to heal, for people to find themselves and be at peace with themselves, because it worked for me. It worked for me, and it's not like you have to be drug addicted and sick to come drink ayahuasca. I think everybody should do it at least one time in their life. Sometimes people are like, no, I don't want to go. If I ever get sick or I ever get a spell casted on me, I'll go see you guys. But and it's true when they feel the calling, because a lot of people see, and you send a lot of people off to their families, and they see the difference. Hey, what you go and do is working. Like you're totally changing. Everything changes. A lot less stress. You just let things flow, and forgiving not only everybody else but yourself. Letting go of all those traumas that we hold. Maybe some of us have traumas with our parents, loved ones, girlfriends, things like that. Haven't been treated too well, and sometimes we ask why. And it's a lesson you have to learn in life. Everything's a lesson. And never regret nothing.
You see right now, especially, a lot of people in the West, particularly like in the first world countries, are very interested and fascinated by ayahuasca. And it seems, for example, in your situation, and I think in many people's, if not most people's situations, what brings people to the medicine a lot of times is pain, some form of pain. And we're seeing this big surge in interest in the West, the first world countries at this moment. What do maybe you or the elders, what is there a diagnosis of what maybe is going on in the world that you guys think, what is some sort of sickness or something that is bringing people to this stuff?
It's not sickness, it's a mindset more. Like when you're out in up north, Europe, and it's always the consume. A new iPhone comes out and get it, clothes, like everything, and it's just to come out here and let go of those things. Like sometimes we dress ourselves with very nice clothes and purses and bags and wallets and belts, but our insides are they're not organized. They're not as pretty as the clothes we put on. So that's like the transformation we look for here. For them, it's not bad to wear nice clothes and have nice things, but first off, inside. Be well with your inside, with your true self, with your true, genuine self. Be at peace. When you're left out here in the jungle and you gotta get on a motorcycle with your huge backpack and go out to some place where cars don't go, it's sometimes when you're going in, and I remember like how I felt, you're like, oh man, what'd I get myself into? Oh geez, what am I paying for? But then after, you're like, wow, okay, now I understand. Now I'm gonna appreciate that running hot water at my house, every little thing. And yeah, it's cool to see the change in people. And sometimes people get a vision. Hey, I want to work more on myself. I want to travel. I want to, make a story of my life, because sometimes people's stories is just 9 to 5 and we work, but we don't do our inner work, our work that helps us out and helps us have a clear mindset, a better energy flow through your body, a better aura. And yeah, just being at peace with yourself is something that helps you out in everyday life. And not only your own self, you help people out. You help people out because people see the change, and then you start talking about your personal experience, and they're like, hey, I'm looking for something, because I just didn't come to this life to work for somebody for 9 to 5 and have 2 weeks of vacation, and that's basically it. Sometimes people let go, and I have savings. I'll go run around the world for a few months and come back and reintegrate into work.
Yeah, and with the philosophy that you touched on briefly, and what we were saying about the fact that there is this fascination with a lot of people in the States, maybe perhaps because they are living that 9 to 5 lifestyle, and it offers a new way of life, a new form of adventure. And I think another thing that really fascinates people is that it has a bit of an air of mystery that surrounds it a little bit with the Putumayo, the jungle. These abuelos, they're very old, and a lot of them, maybe they don't speak English so much, and so
sometimes they don't even speak Spanish. They speak their language,
And so you have been very close with these people, like Abuelo Pacheco and various tribes. What is it like, and what are some of the advice and guidance or philosophies that maybe they come back to when you're working with them and when you're talking with them?
First off is to have faith and believe. Sometimes I've always been, because I come from, my grandma was a botanical person, worked with plants, healed me with plants. So I always had a lot of faith in plants. Sometimes when people come from out and you say, all right, we're going to give you a plant bath. And so we clean your aura, we get rid of all that negative energy. And then we do it with sweet plants to bring in the sweet stuff, to bring in the good stuff. And sometimes people are like, oh, plant bath, that's really going to do it. So first is believe and have faith in what you're doing and what you're taking. Yeah, I believe that's the most important part. And just be open your heart, open your mind, and get out of that comfort zone. Get out of the comfort zone and just appreciate the little you're given to live with, and it helps for survival skills. It's cool. It's a cool experience. I was always an outdoorsy person, always went camping with my family, But some people come and they've never done that.
Yeah.
So it's like invite to open your mind. There's sometimes you might not be comfortable, or sometimes you might love it. There's a lot of people that love just letting go of things. Hey, I didn't really need all that. I don't really need a running shower. Hey, I'm living good right here. I have the river where I could go shower, just clean water to drink. It's fulfilling to have those little things. And then when you go back to your lifestyle, it's just like you appreciate everything you have. Because sometimes we don't appreciate being able to flush a toilet, being able to run water on you. Yeah,
and so lastly, for your future, do you have any intentions with both the medicine and the work and the process that you're doing for the future? Do you see this leading in a certain direction that you'd like things to go in?
Yeah, I have a vision. I've started working more with Bufo and Campbell. I've committed myself to those medicines. I did facilitate ayahuasca, but I feel that it's something, while the elders are still around to help them, if bringing a group of people, give them the experience, the full experience. Because you give someone an experience, but I've only been in this path for 7 years already, and it's, if we have the abuelos right here, take advantage of them. Take advantage of them, because with their Icaro, with the way they know how to cleanse and heal with plants, it's amazing. Like my vision, I really love working with drug addicts, because I was once there. And I remember every time I'd go to a rehab and I'd ask my counselor, what'd you smoke? What'd you slam? And they're like, oh, nothing. So where the fuck did you get your knowledge from? I feel like drug addiction, for somebody that should be a counselor, should have been a drug addict at one point. I feel it's very important to help those people, because like me, my spirit was stuck in a body that was drug addicted, but I have an awesome spirit, and I'm working on it still. That's not like you come drink, oh, I'm a shaman, I'm perfect. No, I'm not a saint. But it's, now I see myself, and it's like, to where I was before, and my mindset, it's completely different. It's completely different. So yeah, something or like a foundation where I could take people in, do volunteers, have a self-sufficient land to where people can come get their healing, go back to their regular lifestyle, and have a better life, have more connection with their family, with their loved ones, heal. And it's just a beautiful thing to see and to hear every time a person tells me, like, oh man, you've helped me out so much. And it's that it helps me out too, because that was one part to where, like, when I started getting into this, I had a few hard things happen, and I was just like, the thought of relapsing. And this was way at the beginning, was like, at this point I wasn't like with patience, but then I'd always be like, hey, I had to start all over again. Like, for myself, I felt like it was going to be like that. And I was just like, no, I'm not going to take that road. Like, that's the road I've taken. That's what I've known for a very long time. And it's like, you're doing this to change your mindset, to change the way you feel, to change the way you... Yeah, that's very important. It's a very important part, to be at peace with yourself.
That's beautiful. I think a lot of people can resonate with your story, and I think a lot of people will be able to see the work and the proof of the work as you show, and as you can see with you and the community and the Taitas. That's beautiful. Thank you very much for sitting down with me today. Do you have any last final words?
Not really, man. Just come down here, open your hearts, open your minds, and come down here and have an experience with us. When we can. I take people into my mother's home, do a whole bunch of therapies, and take them to the ayahuasca ceremony ready to drink the medicine, do different therapies, things to get that path set for them to drink medicine and have a nice process with the medicine.
Beautiful. Thank you very much.
All right.
Peace.